Welcome to Concept with Justin. Today, we're exploring the enchanting world of fragrant front yard gardens. Whether you have a small space or a grand entrance, we'll guide you through creating a vibrant oasis that welcomes you home with a symphony of scents and colors. Imagine stepping out of your car after a long day, greeted by a gentle breeze, carrying the sweet perfume of jasmine and lavender. Your front yard, once a simple patch of grass, has been transformed into a tapestry of blooms and foliage, each plant carefully chosen to delight your senses. Let's begin our journey by considering the overall design of your fragrant front yard garden. The key is to create a harmonious balance between structure and wild beauty. Think of your garden as a living painting, with layers of texture, color, and scent that evolve throughout the seasons. Start with a clear pathway leading to your front door. This could be a winding stone path or a straight walkway lined with fragrant herbs. As you design this path, consider how it will guide visitors through your garden, revealing new scents and sights with each step. Now, let's talk about the backbone of your fragrant garden: trees and shrubs. These larger plants will provide structure and year-round interest. Consider a small ornamental tree like a fragrant magnolia or a flowering crabapple. These will not only offer beautiful blooms and scent, but also create dappled shade for shade-loving plants beneath. For shrubs, lilacs are a classic choice, offering intoxicating fragrance in spring. But don't stop there. Consider evergreen shrubs like daphne or winter honeysuckle for year-round structure and winter fragrance. Place these larger plants strategically to frame your house and create a sense of depth in your garden. Now let's layer in the perennials, the true workhorses of a fragrant garden. Near your pathway, plant low-growing aromatic herbs like thyme or chamomile. As visitors brush past, these plants will release their fragrance, creating an interactive sensory experience. In sunny spots, create drifts of lavender, catmint, and salvias. These plants not only offer wonderful fragrance but also attract pollinators, bringing your garden to life with the gentle hum of bees and the fluttering of butterflies. Don't forget about vertical space. A trellis or arbor covered in fragrant climbing roses or honeysuckle can create a stunning focal point and add height to your garden. Imagine walking under an arch of roses, their perfume enveloping you as you enter your home. For shaded areas, consider planting lily of the valley or sweet woodruff. These shade-loving plants offer delicate scents and can create a lush, woodland feel even in a small space. Remember to include plants that offer fragrance at different times of day. Evening scented stalks or night blooming jasmine can turn your front yard into a fragrant retreat as the sun sets. Water features can add another dimension to your fragrant garden. The sound of trickling water can enhance the sensory experience and attract birds. Adding their sweet songs to your garden symphony. Consider a small wall fountain or a bubbling boulder. These can be incorporated even in the smallest of spaces. As we design our fragrant front yard, let's not forget about the visual aspect. While scent is our primary focus, a beautiful garden should be a feast for all the senses. Use plants with different leaf textures and colors to create visual interest. Silver-leaved plants like Artemisia or lamb's ear can provide a beautiful contrast to darker green foliage. Consider the color palette of your fragrant garden. You might choose to focus on cool, calming tones of purples, blues, and whites. Or opt for a vibrant mix of warm yellows, oranges, and reds. Whatever you choose, ensure it complements the style of your home and creates a welcoming atmosphere. Don't be afraid to incorporate hardscaping elements into your fragrant garden. A well-placed bench or a small seating area can create a destination within your garden, inviting you to pause and enjoy the fragrances around you. As we plan our fragrant front yard, it's important to consider the practicalities. Choose plants that are well suited to your climate and soil conditions. Group plants with similar water needs together to make maintenance easier. And remember, a fragrant garden doesn't have to be high maintenance. Many aromatic plants, like lavender and rosemary, are actually quite drought tolerant once established. Let's talk about creating year-round interest in your fragrant garden. While spring and summer might be the peak seasons for floral scents, there are plenty of plants that can offer fragrance in fall and winter. Witch hazel, with its spidery blooms and sweet scent, can be a star in the winter garden. The waxy flowers of Mahonia offer a subtle fragrance in late winter, while its evergreen foliage provides structure year-round. Consider incorporating some fragrant bulbs into your garden design. Hyacinths and narcissus can provide a burst of scent in early spring, while lilies can offer their intoxicating perfume in midsummer. Plant these in groups for maximum impact, and consider layering different types of bulbs in the same area for a long season of blooms. Don't forget about foliage fragrance. Plants like scented geraniums, lemon verbena, or mint can add interesting scents to your garden even when not in bloom. Brush your hand against these plants as you walk by for an instant burst of fragrance. As we design our fragrant front yard, let's consider how to make it inviting not just for humans, but for wildlife as well. Many fragrant plants are excellent for pollinators. including a variety of plants that bloom at different times, you can create a haven for bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds throughout the growing season. Lighting can play a crucial role in extending the enjoyment of your fragrant garden into the evening hours. Consider adding some soft landscape lighting to highlight key plants or features. Solar-powered lights can be an eco-friendly option and are easy to install without the need for wiring. As your fragrant garden matures, don't be afraid to make changes. Gardens are dynamic, living spaces that evolve over time. Be prepared to move plants that aren't thriving within them. Divide those that have grown too large. And introduce new varieties as you discover them. Remember that scent is deeply personal and evocative. Choose plants with fragrances that resonate with you, perhaps remind you of cherished memories or places. Your fragrant front yard should be a reflection of your personality and a source of joy every time you come home. Let's talk about the importance of edges in your fragrant garden design. Crisp, well-defined edges between lawn and planting beds can give your garden a polished, professional look. Consider using materials like steel edging, brick, or stone to create clean lines and prevent grass from encroaching into your beds. Water-wise gardening doesn't mean you have to sacrifice fragrance. Many aromatic Mediterranean herbs like rosemary, sage, and oregano are naturally adapted to dry conditions. Group these plants together in a sunny spot for a low-water, high-scent garden area. Consider creating a sensory path through your fragrant garden. This could be a small area where you intentionally plant a variety of tactile and aromatic plants. Think of soft, buzzy lamb's ear next to spiky eryngium. Fragrant thyme underfoot. This kind of intentional planting can create a rich, interactive experience for both children and adults. Don't overlook the power of container gardening in your fragrant front yard. Containers offer flexibility, allowing you to move plants around to find their ideal spot or to highlight seasonal stars. They're also a great way to incorporate tender plants that might not be hardy in your climate. Imagine a large pot of fragrant citrus flanking your front door, offering both visual impact and a delightful scent. As we design our fragrant front yard, let's consider the concept of borrowed scenery. This principle, borrowed from Japanese garden design, involves incorporating views beyond your property line into your garden design. Perhaps there's a beautiful tree in your neighbor's yard that could serve as a backdrop for your plantings. Or a distant view that could be framed by an archway in your garden. Remember that a truly successful fragrant garden engages all the senses. The sound of grasses rustling in the breeze, the tactile experience of different leaf textures, the visual play of light and shadow, all these elements come together to create a rich, immersive experience. Consider incorporating some night-blooming plants into your fragrant garden. Flowers like evening primrose, night-scented stock, or moonflower open in the evening, releasing their fragrance into the night air. These can turn your front yard into a magical, fragrant retreat as the sun sets. Don't forget about the importance of negative space in your garden design. While it's tempting to fill every inch with fragrant plants, areas of open space, whether lawn, gravel, or paved surfaces, can provide visual rest and make the planted areas stand out more dramatically. As your fragrant garden matures, consider keeping a garden journal. Note when different plants bloom, which combinations work well together, and how the scents change throughout the day and season. Let's talk about the art of pruning in your fragrant garden. Proper pruning can encourage more blooms and thus more fragrance on many plants. Learn the best times to prune each of your plants. Some, like lilacs, should be pruned right after flowering, while others, like lavender, benefit from a light trim in early spring. Consider creating a fragrant cutting garden as part of your front yard design. A small, dedicated area where you grow flowers specifically for cutting can provide you with materials for fragrant bouquets to enjoy indoors. Plants like sweet peas, phlox, and lilies are excellent choices for a cutting garden. Don't underestimate the power of mulch in your fragrant garden. Not only does it help retain moisture and suppress weeds, but organic mulches, like pine needles or cocoa shells, can add their own subtle fragrance to your garden. Just be sure to keep mulch a few inches away from plant stems to prevent rot. As we design our fragrant front yard, let's consider the concept of succession planting. By carefully selecting plants that bloom at different times, you can ensure a continuous display of fragrant flowers throughout the growing season. Start with spring bulbs, move on to early summer perennials, then late summer and fall bloomers. Remember that fragrance can be subjective. What smells wonderful to one person might be overpowering to another. As you choose plants for your fragrant garden, consider the strength of their scents and try to create a balanced mix of subtle and strong fragrance. Let's talk about the role of herbs in your fragrant front yard. Many culinary herbs are not only fragrant but also attractive and easy to grow. A mixed planting of sage, thyme, oregano, and basil can provide a tapestry of textures and scents, as well as fresh herbs for your kitchen. Consider incorporating some native plants into your fragrant garden design. Native plants are often well adapted to local conditions and can provide food and habitat for local wildlife. Many native plants also have interesting fragrances that can add a unique local character to your garden. Don't forget about the importance of soil health in creating a thriving, fragrant garden. Healthy soil leads to healthy plants, which in turn produce more flowers and stronger fragrances. Consider having your soil tested and amending it as necessary. Adding organic matter like compost can improve soil structure and provide nutrients for your plants. As we create our fragrant front yard, let's think about how to make it a welcoming space for relaxation. Comfortable seating area, perhaps a porch swing or a small bistro set, can invite you to linger and enjoy the fragrances around you. Position seating areas where they can catch the prevailing breezes. Fully appreciate the scents of your garden. Remember that your fragrant garden is a living, breathing entity that will change and evolve over time. Be prepared to adapt your design as plants grow, spread, or perhaps don't thrive as expected. Gardening is a journey, not a destination, and part of the joy is in watching your creation grow and change over the years. Let's consider the role of vines in our fragrant front yard design. Climbing plants like jasmine, clematis, or honeysuckle can add vertical interest and bring fragrance up to eye level. Train them on trellises, arbors, or even up the side of your house for a stunning visual and olfactory display. Don't overlook the power of mass plantings in creating a strong, fragrant impact. A large drift of lavender or a sweep of fragrant phlox can create a powerful scent presence in your garden. These mass plantings can also create strong visual impact, anchoring your garden design. Consider creating different fragrant zones in your front yard. You might have an area near the street with strongly scented plants to greet passersby, a subtly fragrant area near seating for quiet enjoyment, and perhaps a highly fragrant area near windows so the scents can drift indoors. As we design our fragrant front yard, let's think about incorporating some fragrant ground covers. Plants like creeping thyme, sweet woodruff, or Corsican mint can create a fragrant carpet underfoot. These can be especially effective when planted between stepping stones or along pathways. Remember the importance of plant diversity in creating a resilient garden ecosystem. A mix of different plant types, trees, shrubs, perennials, and annuals can create a more stable environment that's better able to withstand pests and diseases. Let's talk about the role of water in enhancing the fragrances in your garden. Many scents become more pronounced in humid air. A small water feature, or even just regular misting, can help to intensify the fragrances in your garden, especially on hot, dry days. Consider the visual rhythm of your fragrant garden. Repeating certain plants or colors throughout the garden can create a sense of cohesion and lead the eye through the space. This repetition can also help to distribute fragrances evenly throughout your front yard. As we create our fragrant front yard, let's consider how to make it a multi-season garden. While many fragrant plants bloom in spring and summer, there are options for fall and winter interest too. Witch hazel, winter honeysuckle, and certain viburnums can provide fragrance in the colder months. Consider how you can use your fragrant garden as a backdrop for outdoor living. A small seating area, perhaps with a cafe table and chairs, can create a perfect spot for morning coffee or evening relaxation, surrounded by the sweet scents of your garden. Remember that your fragrant garden is a reflection of you and your home. Let it complement your home's architecture and your personal style. Whether you prefer a formal, structured look or a more casual cottage garden style, your fragrant garden should feel like a natural extension of your living space. Thank you for joining me on this aromatic journey through the world of fragrant front yard gardens. I hope this video has inspired you to create your own scented sanctuary. If you enjoyed this content and want more garden inspiration, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Concept with Justin.